Please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. This is the HTML email developer YouTube channel. Before I get into the video about Figma and Adobe XD, I usually forget to promote my books, guys. Shameless plug, but sometimes I just, I'm more about the people, but I realize, I'm doing this for a charity in Belize called Hope Haven, and a smaller school over there as well. And all the proceeds are going to those uh, those organizations. And I will put the link in the description below. But yeah, these are my two ebooks: how to become an HTML email developer and how to build an HTML email developer portfolio. Only $9.99. I probably will be updating how to become an HTML email developer because I'm putting more content out about my experiences, my position, and my interviews that I go on, and the more things that I learn through these interviews. So guys, again, if you can support these two organizations, I will put the link in it below so you guys could take a look at this. One of them is a group home. One of them is another school on the north side of the island in Belize, and all the proceeds will go to them. So please, support if you can. So let's get into the video. Hit the notification bell. This is the HTML email developer YouTube channel, or HTML jobs. I want to talk to you guys about interviewing. Remember, I always say just keep interviewing. Even if you have a job or not, keep interviewing because the things that you don't know, you may learn through interviews. Prime example. I had an interview last week. I just took, like I said, I just take these interviews just for more experience, and it wasn't even enough hours for me to even justify having an interview. The pay was really, really good, really good. But the hours was limited, maybe 4 hours, 5 hours at the most. Some weeks it would be no hours. But I went on and took the interview for experience, and this is what I found out. Now, when you guys see Adobe XD and Figma, you're thinking to yourself that, man, I got to learn that whole program. I got to learn how to do this and that, and inside the program, and just know how the how can I say this, the inside of the software. I got to learn it from A to Z and enough to figure out the whole software, what it does, kind of like Photoshop or whatever. That is not the case. So when you see Adobe XD and Figma, you may do only one thing in there, and that's it. That's it. You may not deal with it at all except for doing one thing. And what is that one thing? Well, the current company I work with, you get your creatives or images several different ways. I'm probably going to do another video on that. You can get it through the email from the project manager. Excuse me. Or you can get it from Jira. Sometimes they download it in the Jira also. Those are two ways you can get it, and I think there's a third way you can get it. I'm not sure. Other than email, and they could email it to you, or they could send it to you in Jira. Sometimes you can get it in Slack. If there's issues going on with Jira. But those are three ways that you could get your creatives and start working on your HTML template. So here's the thing. Like I said, current job, we use Adobe XD. What do I do with Adobe XD? I only do one thing, maybe two or three, depending on how my creative comes in. Sometimes I have to change the fonts. Sometimes the alignment may be off. But other than that, my primary duty for using Adobe XD is to export it. That's it. Sometimes you got to make sure the background is transparent. Make sure you make sure that's transparent, because sometimes if you just go and export it, then you're gonna realize the background is not transparent. So you got to make sure all that stuff is straight. This is just my experiences currently. But yes, all you do is go in the Adobe XD. Your file is going to open up in there, your mockup or your creatives, and you just export it out to your local folder, and then you just upload it into, I guess, your editor or whatever your placeholder is at your company. In my case, I have to load it up to Photoshop and slice it. Then I'll put it into the placeholder and then start on my HTML code and template. But so what I'm saying is this: when I went on that interview, they told me the same thing because I had to ask the questions, but I kind of knew what they meant, and because I explained to them, about my current position and everything, and they said, yeah, you pretty much do the same thing with Figma. So when you think you're gonna have to learn the whole program, the whole software, and do this and do that like Photoshop or whatever, that's not always the case. Now in your mind, you're thinking that's what it is, but that's not the case. Um, Also, I've heard of Sketch. I don't know if they may do the same thing with Sketch. So, and I'm not saying you can't go in there and customize the whole email template, because I had a test with for a position with Intuit some months ago, and I had to assemble everything towards the HTML template and code in Figma. And but a lot of times when you get Adobe XD and Figma, probably Sketch or something, a lot of times your PMO's just sending that to you because I think that's what the design team kind of created it in, I guess, design the images in, and then they just send it to you. And like I said, I clearly just open it up and I export the Adobe XD, the mockup in Adobe XD into my local folder, and I go from there. I don't do anything else in Adobe XD. And this last interview, you don't do anything with Figma. You just go in there and you export the creative out of Figma and you're done. So when you see all this stuff in your description and stuff, it really is, it's kind of intimidating. It's like Adobe XD. I don't know what that is. Figma. I don't. Of course, we can get on Udemy or other YouTube channels and learn what this is. But in your mind, I know you're thinking we got to learn the whole concept of this whole software. Sometimes things are just serving one purpose. Of course, you and I don't know that, but once you get on the job and you get familiar and you get in these spaces, you realize, wow, I don't have to learn the whole program. I just have to learn how to export it, which is easy to do out of any software program, whether it's Windows Movie Maker, I say Adobe Premiere, and all those other softwares. So guys, let me know what you think. But this is why I say just keep interviewing no matter what, man. You learn something new all the time. And trust me, when they mentioned Figma, I was asking them about that. I was like, what would I actually be doing in Figma? And they started explaining it to me. I said, oh, just like I do in Adobe XD. Just export it out, and that's it. You don't do anything else with Adobe XD. Again, guys, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. This is the HTML Email Developer YouTube channel. Take care.